So we're excited to talk to you about this movie because what a crazy movie! You get all kinds of scripts and you think, I might want to do this, but this one you're probably like, I got to do this, especially when you find out who's in it, right?
Well, I think that the best pitch they gave me was Harvey Keitel is in it. And then I said yes. And they're
Yeah,
like, do you want to read the script? And I was like, right, I should probably read the script. Um, and after I read the script, I was like, hey, I have one big change I'd like to make. And they're like, what is it? And I said, my character has no scenes with Harvey Keitel. I need scenes with
yeah.
Harvey Keitel. And it didn't happen. I was bummed, but they said but we are going to get you to work with Dermot Mulroney, and Keith Carradine. So I was like,
Yeah.
hey, as long as I'm on set when Harvey Keitel's working. So even though I could have been home that day, that night, that we filmed, I got to stay on set and just watch a masterclass. And then I got to work with Keith Carradine and Dermot Mulroney and get to see uh, them play, man. It's really fun to watch actors you respect and admire just and you get to work with them, share a screen with them. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. And what a cool thing. Was there a particular day, scene, or time where you're just kind of looking around going, this is so cool. I get paid for this.
I think that's generally anytime I'm doing a movie, man, it's like
Yeah.
I can't believe like I'm just some kid with a dream, like when I was 18 moving out to LA and then now I get to make films and work with people I respect and admire. I mean, there was a time when legitimately I would be working on sets for free just so I could steal from craft services.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, and of course, now people have been looking up to you for years, and they think, "See, this is what I want to do." But you make it look easy. So, what kind of advice do you give to somebody who wants to follow in your footsteps and do what you do so well?
Thank you. Man, the best advice I can give anybody is, surround yourself with artists who are doing the thing. And a lot of times people think that they need to perhaps go the old route of higher education. But I think when it comes to the arts, the best advice I can give is kind of look at it more as an apprenticeship. Find an artist or find a film, go work on it because you can go to film school and you can learn all about the history of film and kind of really, not to cross the line or not, 180 degrees, like essentially the rules of filmmaking, or you can see it put into practice. Now, I'm the kind of person who learns better firsthand. So being on set, watching real other artists doing the thing taught me a lot more than perhaps I would learn sitting in a classroom. And at the end of the day, if you go out there and you work on a film as a PA, that goes on your resume, right? And you did it for free. Maybe you lost money, but you have experience that goes onto your resume, and that'll help you get the next job. Because what people want as a producer myself now, what we are looking for is we're looking for hard workers and people who prove that they show up. And if you decide that, hey, I'm doing this gig and I'm not getting paid, and maybe I'm not going to show up today, people remember that. And it's like, make sure that you show up, you work hard, and it's not about the job now, it's about the job in the future.
Yeah, well said. Now, my co-host is Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys, caught the Hail Mary, went in the Hall of Fame. And yes, and we'd love to ask people their Hail Mary moment. So he told me, I got to ask you your Hail Mary moment, which is that moment in your life or career you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for you?
Man, I say my Hail Mary moment was when I was 18 years old and everybody told me that I was an idiot for moving out to LA. And I did it anyway. And on my drive, I packed up my car. I'm 18 years old. I got all my few belongings, which at that point was like a guitar, a speaker, and some clothes, right? So I'm
Mhm.
driving from Midland, Texas, where I lived at the time, to Los Angeles, and there's just the one freeway, just like the 10 takes you all the way across. And I'm on the 10 and I'm leaving Texas, about to hit New Mexico, and I get pulled over by a state trooper. I'm going 88 and an 80. So, but he's pulls me over and he's writing me a ticket, and I'm literally thinking, this ticket is going to cost me $300. That's like a month. I don't know if I can. It's just money that I didn't have. Like I was very very closely budgeted. And then as he's giving me the ticket, he pulls it out and the ticket ripped in half. And he looks at it and he looks at me and he's like, "Hold on, I got to go write a new one." And I'm sitting there just like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening." I'm trying to tally up how much longer or how much less time I have in LA. And he comes
Mhm.
back with a warning. And he's like, well, listen, since I ripped it out, the ticket didn't work. You know what? I'm gonna take that as a sign is you just need a warning. So slow it down. And that was it, man. That was kind of like this moment of like maybe not quite a Hail Mary, but maybe a sign from above that like I had a little bit of protection on my side. And it was a I'll never forget the look on that officer's face and the feeling I had inside as my heart started beating again.
Yeah, well, I think so because Drew Pearson's number is the 88. So, yeah.
I knew
And
that.
if I recall, we met at a party during the Twilight time, CJ, and I believe you give me a number, and I had in my mind that it was had an 88 in there as well. So so I think there was something there. So there you go.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
I love that. Well, part of that, we talk about this on the show is that success mindset that you have to have with this film and with everything. And, we're creative types. We're hard on ourselves. So is there
Yep.
something that you keep in mind that always keeps you on the right path even when things are tough?
Oh man, yeah. I would say, I'm a faithful person. I believe in God, and I think that's one of the things that in my life I've been really blessed. And I look at all the moments that perhaps things could have gone sideways for me, and I relied on my faith to get me through. And I think one of the biggest, it's one of the biggest industry issues in this industry is, like people are a little bit social climbers.
Mhm.
And sometimes you have to forgive people that maybe don't deserve it. And I think in this industry, it's kind of hard. It's very personal. Art is very personal. It's subjective. It's not objective. And I've had many moments in my life where I've kind of had to forgive a friend and maybe move on without being friends anymore. But I think that was by the grace of God, and I think that by forgiving others perhaps when they're undeserving, we can more easily find forgiveness for ourselves. And I think that's one of the hardest lessons that I've learned in life. And I think that, but it's the best thing in the world. Forgiveness is such a gift for yourself and
Mhm.
for somebody else. Yeah, man, I love it. I think there's such a beautiful world out there, and sometimes we get inundated with the sadness and the evils of the world and we forget to look at the beauty. And so what I teach my kids is when we pray for what we're thankful for, and that way we see it more. We focus on the good things, we focus on what we love, we focus on who we love, and beyond that things are out of our control. So you just got to remember who you love, and focus on that.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, so well said. And of course now, that's probably the principle that's gotten you everywhere because, you do kind of do everything. If someone says, "Oh, what do you do?" I mean, you do really do it all now, right?
Well, yeah, I don't know. People say like Renaissance, man or whatever is somebody who does a lot of things. I just follow my passions. One of the things that I love art. I love music. I've been making music since I was 13. I've been acting since I was 14. Um, Beyond that, I was doing construction work. So like when I was in the theater, I was actually building sets. And so now in my spare time, I do like housework. I flip houses with my wife. She just does designing, and I actually do the construction by hand. Except for the major electrical or the major plumbing, I'll do everything myself. And it kind of keeps me grounded because when we make a film, it takes about a year and a half for that film to come out. When we make an album, it takes like months of mixing and going back and forth. But when I paint a wall, that wall is painted that day. When I like, when I put in a new sink, that sink is in the next day. Like it's there's something immediate to construction and working with your hands that I don't get in the art world. And yeah, I love it, man. I think the yeah, it's just another form of the arts for me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. And then of course, with this movie, we it's for entertainment value. But is there something that you got out of it that you learned either about yourself or that you think that other people will take away maybe from this film?
An interesting question. I don't know. The film is it's an interesting Laws of Man is really kind of like a new noirish film about the Cold War, and kind of about small town secrets.
Hmm.
And I think that it's a fun ride. It kind of sets up this story between these two men, and it ends up with this kind of insanity in the third act, which was a lot of fun to
Hmm.
see Dermot Mulroney have fun with and watch Keith Carradine as it all went down. And
Hmm.
uh, I think as an actor, you get to learn from other actors and watching them. And I think the best thing I can the best advice I can give people is surround yourself with people who have been doing it for a long time. Watch, be quiet, watch them and learn, you know? And I think watching Dermot Mulroney have fun, hell
Mhm.
yeah, man. That's what
Yeah.
that's what art's about.
Wow, that's so cool. Well, then, last thing, of course, we'd love seeing you in whatever we can, and we'd love to hear some new music. So, what do you got coming up next for us that we need to know about?
Oh man, well, I just recorded a new record in Prague with the incredible producer and musician Laser Viking, good friend of mine now, and I'm really excited for this record. It's I can't quite tell you when it's going to come out. We're working on those details, kind of behind the scenes. But if you follow me, obviously on Instagram at Jackson Rathbone, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, it's just my name, no numbers. No like underscores, just Jackson Rathbone. Anything other is a fake. Please don't follow them. That's why I put out all my information of the upcoming films, upcoming music, or the other artistic endeavors that I've got going on. I just had a great meeting for another project, something that a script that I wrote, and I'm really excited. Hopefully, we get that off the ground in the next year as well. So it's one of those
Um,
things where I'm constantly plugging away. I'm constantly making art and making things happen. And who knows, man? Maybe I can sell you a house one day too.
yeah, I hope so. That's great. Well,
I'll
man,
get
it's so
down to
great to
Brazil
talk.
and hang out with you.
I please do. Yeah. And are you back in LA or are you in Texas?
Right now, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh,
There's a lot
okay.
of a wonderful film community out here. There's great people out here that I work with. I'm kind of between a lot of different places. I'm in LA or Atlanta or Austin, Texas. Those are
Yeah.
generally the places that I live or spend my time. But right now, my heart breaks for LA. There's a
Yeah.
lot of my good
Mm.
friends have lost their homes in Altadena and
Yeah.
in the Palisades. So I just think, we got to like raise them up and, hopefully that we support all, like we support the idea of we all come together as humans to help each other, put every other thing aside and just remember that there are families and there are children and there are people's livelihoods at stake here and all over. So when we see these disasters happen, let's react with love.
Hey, right about that. Well, thank you so much again for being with us. Great to talk to you again. And look forward to talking to you again sometime very, very soon. We're going to tell everyone to check out this film.
Hey, thanks so much, Paul. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. It's always a pleasure getting to chat with you. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. I'll see you soon.